Hi guys, so I'm coming today with a little bit of a different video, and I think it's because I need to educate the burden of the light worker. Spirit kind of brought that to me, and I need to say something. And there might be some talk about the video I just posted because I need to use it as an example. But this is a very spirit guided channel. I do everything because Spirit leads me on that path. I don't pick and choose what I work on, Spirit does. So whether that is something that's global, whether that's something that I don't normally speak on, it does not matter. Part of being a light worker is you have a divine purpose in life to help others. We're often called to heal others. And we want to resolve social and global problems. That's within us. We believe that the spirituality and light can heal those problems. And with spirituality is truth. So we try to show facts in a way because we have to back up our feelings. And just because others may not agree or may not see things that way, people have to understand that there's an immense push from Spirit. I have not been in control of what I've wanted to post or talk about. And because of posting that, I've been given a lot of scrutiny. So there's a lot of burden that I've held on my shoulders as talking about it in the first place. And people say stick to true crime, not to political things, but it is true crime. Any time that you're talking about a person that has committed a crime, it's considered true crime. So people need to reevaluate what true crime means. It's not just what they want when they want it, and it's not just murder cases. And this is a spirituality channel. So this channel is about growth. It's about spirituality. It's about issues in the world that Spirit wants me to speak on. And I don't think people understand how strong this has been recently. Does anybody really think that I want to do things that people don't like? That I really want to blow up my channel for no reason? I mean, do people want to think I want to talk about controversial things? No. Have I ever spoken about it before? No. So we have to understand that this is not, it doesn't matter if this is what you want, and it doesn't matter if this is what you don't want to hear. What matters is Spirit's message and Spirit's voice on the matter. They are trying to warn people, and that was the message. I think they thought that if I could compile evidence and show the danger to humanity. Now, that's not talking about our current president. I know that there's some conspiracies there, which I've looked into, and they're according to her, they're unfounded. I'm not getting into all of that. Because that's not who Spirit wanted me to speak on. Spirit wanted me to speak on the presidential candidate who is out of control and could hold the power of our destruction. And you see a lot of people in the comments of videos posting, they feel the same way to speak out about this, but they're afraid to. I'm afraid to too. I don't want to do it. Nobody understands that I cried for 30 minutes today, and a cat that usually is not very cuddly came and laid on me afterwards because she could feel it. It's a burden sometimes. Speaking on true crime and always having to be right, that's a burden. Carrying other people's grief in some way, shape, or form, I don't call that a burden, because that I can understand from a different level. That I can understand that we're all on the other side, but still, it hurts me to see people that go through those things. I just have to detach myself from it. So we often feel compelled to share our feelings, to share our dreams, to share our thoughts, because we feel that it's important that people know or understand it. And does that mean a light being is always a spiritual being? Like, I mean, is always someone like in my situation where I do readings and stuff? Not always. There's light beings of all forms, and they can come in many, they can show their light in many ways. Sometimes they are politicians, sometimes they're military. They come in all different forms, and we're here to bring light into the world. And if that's a truth that people don't want to see, that's not my fault. I do what I'm told to do by spirit, and the push was so inevitably strong that the bear went off 5 times to validate it. When do you ever see that bear go off in readings, period? Let alone a video that I'm talking about things. If nobody thinks that Spirit or Ivana doesn't want him, doesn't want people to see him for who he is, then I'm not understanding where your moral compass lies. Because while I was sitting here crying, I felt her presence and felt her put her hand on my back and say, "It was okay, sweetheart," because I said, "Did I just mess up? Did I just throw my whole channel away for trying to speak the truth and bring awareness to people? Does that mean that you have to go along with my beliefs, even though I just showed you how dangerous he is because of his psychopathy? No, but I was building a criminal pattern, which I've stated that I would do with any criminal, and psychological, I guess you could say, because Spirit wants it known that he's dangerous. Let me tell you, for since about, I don't know, when he first got elected the first time, I had visions of destruction with him, and everybody got mad at me, and I lost friends because of it, and I don't really care. Like, if you're here for the right reasons and you're a true fan, then you will continue to be a true fan no matter what I talk about. There's no one tying you to a chair making you watch the videos that I post that you don't resonate with. I understand that politics and things can be dark, but so can murder. I'm sorry, but this is a world event that needs to have light shed on it. These are truths that need to be spoken about. And the problem is that not enough people are speaking about it out of fear from the cultish behavior. And I've seen that cultish behavior, and I've seen that no matter sometimes what you can show a person about somebody, they have to experience it themselves. So people can be blinded and stubborn and only have tunnel vision. It's very much like how people were with Hitler and other leaders around the world, where they refused to see any negative implications or negative things that they've done, or celebrities for that matter, or anything else. Anybody that's been in the spotlight. And that's not to say that I'm perfect and everybody's perfect. We're all here on our own path to make our own choices and decisions, and we're all here to live and grow together. But it's almost like people don't listen to what I say. I said at the beginning of the video why I did it. I said that I was being pushed by Spirit, and that validated it for me when it went off, and that I was trying to show proof through facts, because that's what like workers do. And again, we are trying to help resolve social and global patterns, because we are hoping that if people see things a different way, that we are not our own destroyer of our own humanity, because hate is what destroys. You have to look at it. Who is poking hate? Who is causing hate? That is what Spirit wanted to say. We are supposed to be about love. We are supposed to be about unity, and we're supposed to be about grace. And it's sad to me that I've had fans on here for a long time that have said they have followed me for a long time, but all of a sudden I speak out and I show a truth, and I'm the bad guy. All of a sudden, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. All of a sudden, all the cases that I've done, all the times that Spirit has proven their accuracy, all the things that you've been shown by Spirit, given by Spirit, taught by Spirit, means nothing anymore. Because it's not something you want to pay attention to, and you want to turn a blind eye. That's not fair to me for spreading Spirit's message. Their message is that he's dangerous, period. That doesn't mean there's not other things going around with other individuals, but he's the one running for president. He is the dangerous one. And again, they just want people to see it. And I pray to God that the skeletons they keep showing me come out. Now, again, people keep saying, I'm going to unfollow you because you keep talking political things. Look, this is the reality of our existence right now. Yes, there are missing people. Yes, there are murdered people. But until I get my message across, I cannot move on like any case. I have plans to work on other cases. During this, I have worked on plans by myself, as far as I've tried to locate people. I've done new locating things. I've been doing personal readings. There's other things that I've been doing behind the scenes that you guys don't see. Just because I post this because I was pulled in by Spirit does not mean that this is not a crime channel. Again, look at the definition of true crime. It's funny to me that when there's other psychics and mediums out there, there's other people, that astrologists and whatnot, that do politics, but I'm the bad guy when I show proof and evidence. No, and I was too scared to release my reading, which is really fucked up that I should feel that way in my own community that's supposed to be a supportive community. And the burden of a light worker is sometimes talking about things you don't want to talk about, sometimes doing things you don't want to do. And the burden of other light workers is also to take heed to the message and also activate. I feel like I've been activated, honestly. I don't even know what that means. Awakened, activated, shifted, changed with all the astrology that just happened. Something shifted and changed, and that's what people don't understand. Does that mean I'm not here for justice of voices of murdered victims and missing? No, that's not what that means. I will continue to work on that, and I will continue to do that as I'm called to. I have Bradley's that I need to work on because I'm going, hopefully, if Steven comes out to Arizona, to look for him. So again, people have no idea what I'm doing behind the scenes, but does that mean I can leave things alone? No, not unless Spirit wants me to. No one understands the push I felt or what I felt to get the message across. And the message isn't just political. The message is humanitarian. The message is he's dangerous. And this is the proof as to why he's dangerous. That was Spirit's message. And it seems to me that no one listened to anything I had to say in the beginning of the video where I explained why I was doing it. And again, no one has to watch it. If you refuse to see the truth and the light, then that's your problem. If you want to support somebody like this, then you have to get up every day and look in the mirror and say, okay, I support somebody that's capable of all this. I've seen some crazy ass comments about, I'm going to vote for him even though he doesn't know how to do the job. Would you hire anybody that didn't know how to do a job, that had all these things behind them? Probably not. And again, this wasn't supposed to be about this. I wanted to talk about a light worker's burden, but this goes hand in hand with a light worker's burden. This channel is not about what you guys want, because if it was, I would be having a lot more views and I would be having a lot easier time and I wouldn't be so up and down emotionally. No one has had grace with me for going, well, I can't say no one. There has people that have grace with me for going through this, but I've seen supporters back out or whatever because they don't agree with what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if you agree with what I'm doing. That is not the issue. If you don't agree and you don't want to watch the video, then don't freaking watch it. Again, no one's forcing you to watch this type of content, but Spirit has a voice and Spirit wants its voice heard. Do you don't think Ivana wants him to finally pay for things after he beat the crap out of her allegedly years ago? And who knows what else? I have my own opinions on that. Do you think that Spirit doesn't want to speak out if they see humanity going into a deep dark hole? Of course they're going to have something to say about it. Does that mean that soul contracts and whatever don't come into play and things aren't going to happen as they're going to happen? No. But it's about awakening people to the truth. It's about getting them to see the light. And that is a huge burden for me and a lot of other light workers out there. There's a lot of comments in that video that simply state, you know what, I've been feeling the same thing. People need to be warned about him, but I'm afraid to say it. Because of who I am, I can't keep my mouth shut. And when the pushing is so strong, you know, how about you give somebody some grace for trying to spread a message and save humanity and save people from themselves by showing you the proof and truth of who somebody is? Because you don't just take my word for it as a psychic medium. It's funny to me that you guys take my word for everything else. World events that happen that I state, that Spirit brought in political stuff that I didn't want. That's how it all started. Cases that have been accurate, and anything else that you guys want, you come to me about, and I try to do the best I can to do it. But if Spirit doesn't lead me in that direction, I don't go in that direction. Then everybody says, we miss you when you were with a sitter. Sorry, there's no sitter available. A lot of people bitched about a sitter. So I can't make everybody happy, period. This channel, and regardless of if it's dark, sorry, murder is dark too. Unaliving people is dark. There are victims that are still alive that need to be spoken for. And that's what they use to get me to put out all the other messages. And somebody said, well, you don't need to keep talking politics. What else is going to prove it to you other than proof? Because you're not going to listen to a damn word that I say. I'm trying to get everybody to a higher vibration and in a better way of thinking. Does that mean everything's going to be perfect? We go the other direction? No. But everybody needs to get out of the conspiracy theories and see what's in front of them. We have justice versus crime right now. Somebody that is a legit criminal that's been getting away with crimes for most of his life versus somebody in the justice system who is there to fight for us and our freedoms. Is she perfect? Probably not. But Spirit says it's time for divine feminine, and I even got hated for that. That is not my message. My psychic downloads, those are Spirit's messages, and if you're going to be part of this channel, you have to respect that. Otherwise, guess what? You're probably going to leave, and others will come in that are supposed to be here. Others will come in that align with my message, and others will come in that are of the same vibration. And you need to probably look at why you're standing with this person when he doesn't care about you or our country. You need to pick country over which side you're on. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It's about what's right for us as humanity. So I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but I've been really upset because people seem to misunderstand what I'm saying. Mercury retrograde probably wasn't the best time to go back into this, but it is stuff in the past. However, I get misunderstood during Mercury retrograde, and a lot of us do, and Aquarians do. Like, it's like our words are twisted and we want to be misunderstood. So the reason why I wanted to write about this is the burden of being a light worker, or talk about this, the burden of being a light worker. Nobody's in my body. Nobody's in my mind. Nobody works with Spirit the way that I do. You guys all see that Spirit trusts me, right? Why would anybody think that I would do anything like this to jeopardize anything if there wasn't a push? That I don't think Spirit's going to take care of me, and I keep having that faith that something's going to come out that's just going to hopefully wake a lot of people up. That's what they keep telling me, and I pray to God that that's right. That's what I have to trust in. Because me sitting here and crying for 45 minutes because of all the bad comments I received in the beginning when I'm just trying to show the truth was really hard on me. Like, this was a very heavy burden to handle. And again, if people need to be supportive of me no matter what I do, that's the whole point of why you're supportive of somebody. If people are going to support him no matter what he does, why can't people support me no matter what I do? If you're a true supporter and you're of the light, then you understand the message. You understand the message that Spirit is trying to give to the world about the dangers that follow. And not only that, but I'm being told this is a lesson for people to recognize it in the future, because I guarantee you he's not going to be the only danger to the future. And I'm sorry, I don't see anything bad in Harris. People can say that all they want. I might be blind to it, but Spirit is not showing me that. So this is spiritual warfare. And that's what they've tried to make me understand. Because, trust me, when have you ever seen me do anything like this? Ever. In the 12 years I've been doing this work. Everybody shifts, evolves, and changes. And this is their way of doing it. It's also a way to see who's really on this channel for the right reasons. Are you really on this channel for truth and justice and to believe me? And no matter what I say, I could be wrong, but I mean, at least support me in some way, no matter what I talk about. And again, you can scroll right by. You don't have to like what I'm doing at this present time. No one's like tying you to a chair and forcing you to watch the content you don't want to watch. If it makes you feel negative in any way, okay, but I don't understand how showing proof of things is me describing a murder is there's not much difference as far as the darkness of it. In this channel, we don't just talk about that. We talk about a lot of different things. Again, it's a spirituality channel. It's an education channel. Even if you don't want to be educated and see the truth, that doesn't mean Spirit's not going to try to get you to. It seems to me that everything else that you guys have questions on, you want to learn from me, any case that you want to hear what I have to say, I'm important then. But anytime it goes against what you want to listen to or you want to know about, because a lot of people aren't into politics. I wasn't into politics either before this year. Anybody ever wonder why? It's because they want me to be knowledgeable on things and to talk about it because it's important right now. Not just for now, but into the future as well, because I'm sure this won't be the only time that we see somebody like this. It's almost like it's a lesson for all of us. And he has his own part in the story, but that doesn't mean that Spirit doesn't want to expose him. Light workers bring love and light into the world, and we become sensitive to motions and energies. I can tell you, in 40 years, I've never watched a DNC, but I wanted to watch it to see what it was about. I cry because I feel the hopes, wishes, emotions that are coming from that side. And if you look at the energy and the difference, if you can learn how to read energy and feel energy, and you look at the difference of one side versus the other, you can see one is very drab, low vibration. The other is very high energy. There's a reason for that, and people need to recognize that. But we can be sensitive to those emotions, those hopes. I've never felt that before. I didn't understand why I felt that. And then I was like, I must be feeling everybody's emotions. We can pick up on others' motives, intent, and are easily able to analyze someone just by looking at them. That doesn't mean it's everybody, but sometimes I can, and sometimes I'm able to. But I was put on this earth to help others. Again, it can be a blessing and a burden. Because you're only supported when people want to support you sometimes. And it's sad because so many people just don't want to see the truth and see things for what they are. And it took a lot of courage and a lot of guts for me to do what I did and to listen to Spirit above my own thoughts. And people don't know the internal struggle that I had doing so. Light workers are people that want to bring a higher level of consciousness to the world. And we may experience a number of burdens. This happens, and there's such thing as light worker syndrome. Okay. This happens when someone becomes aware of a higher level of consciousness, but has trouble living on their purpose and connecting to the physical world. They may feel frustrated and depressed and may want to give up and return to the non-physical world, which many times over the past few months, don't think it hasn't crossed my mind. I miss home very much, but my animals need me, my son needs me, my mom needs me. I think people need me. I don't know anymore. I've started to wonder if I do anything right anymore, but I'm just trying to answer a calling. I'm just trying to do what Spirit wants me to do. And again, we have the fear of responsibility. So we fear the responsibility that comes with achieving our goals with this, and it can harm our income. And we're capable of helping others, but sometimes we don't do so on a large scale, although we try. It's hard to it's difficult to balance spiritual and physical worlds with us. We have trouble staying connected to a higher level of consciousness and also returning grounded in the spiritual world where it's so heavy. So like I said, I feel like I've been leveling up. I feel like and sometimes we have to hit a tower moment for that to happen. I don't know if what I've been experiencing as light worker syndrome, but it happens when someone wakes up to a higher level of consciousness, but can't figure out how to live that purpose, and still afford to survive at the same time, which, I mean, I awakened to this long time ago and I've struggled ever since. It's not like I basically survive. That's what I do, but it's worth it for me because I love what I do and I do it for the right reasons. And I have the authenticity and the integrity to do it. And And see, I'm learning more about light workers too, because I never really realized myself as that. I realized as somebody that was a psychic medium that was trying to spread truth and light and love and speak for injustices and but we do, and this is why I say I made that oath with spirit. We do make a conscious decision to endeavor to answer the call to source over the call of fear. So by me doing what I did, I was answering the call of source and the call of spirit over being afraid to do so. So we're tuned with our callings of our soul and act on its whispers regardless of that fear. It's the commit to living a courageous life, which I've had to get used to over the years. Just coming out and saying who I was and doing what I do. Although you've had hate thrown at you and you've had, no matter how many times you prove yourself, you've had, what's the word I'm looking for? People call you a fraud or a fake or whatever that may be. So to come out and do what I do, it took a lot of overcoming fear, but to come and step out of my comfort zone, that was me choosing to listen to source over it. And I felt like if I would have done a reading for you guys, no one would have listened and I would have got a lot of hate. I did do readings. I did two readings and I haven't released them because that fear is still there of that. But I thought if I could spread the message another way that's the idea that came to me. If I could spread the message with facts, that it would be taken better. And being a light worker is not always about light and love. It can be quite the contrary or quite the opposite. Light's not possible without journeying into the depths and facing the shadow. Know that being a light worker involves continuously facing your shadow in order to transmute wounds into gifts, which is what I've done over many years. And again, you don't have to be a psychic medium to be a light worker. You can be anything and be a light worker. It's about spreading truth, light, love, and doing it even if you have fear to do so. And if you're feeling that connection to your inner light, which I have in the last couple weeks, that's another sign of a spiritual awakening, which I had my spiritual awakening 12 years ago, but we can have many awakenings and many step-ups. And you find heightened empathy, which, like I said, I've had recently, tuned into feelings, energies of others, and experiencing a deeper understanding and compassion. Heightened empathy often leads to desire to help others, to make the world a better place, which is the core aspect of a light worker, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to spread a message of light, love, peace, and unity, and letting people know that we don't need somebody as dark as him and as dangerous as him to be running a country and have that button to blow us up at any time or blow whoever up just because he wants to throw a fit. He's not in the right state of mind. Maybe years ago he could have been more stable, but now he's not. And I'm telling you, he's not healthy. So we are not going to have to worry about him anyways. But I think the big message is Spirit wants people to recognize darkness when they see darkness. They want to recognize things that are dangerous when we see things that are dangerous. It's a lesson to everybody. A renewed sense of purpose. Walking the path, you might find renewed sense of purpose, a feeling that you are here for a reason and you have a unique role to play in life. Spiritual calling and beckoning, urging you to step into your light and embrace your true self. Overcoming dark energy is part of this path. In the journey of spiritual awakening, it is not uncommon to encounter dark energy, but exactly what dark energy? Understanding dark energy. So this is what we're dealing with now, and this is what I'm dealing with now, and I'm having a very hard time doing so. Dark energy can be thought of as a lower vibrational energy that can potentially hinder your spiritual growth. It might manifest as negative thoughts, self-doubt, and even encounters with individuals who drain your positive energy, which is what I've been dealing with on a bigger level. Identifying your light worker path. Are you experiencing, and this can be other people as well as me, a sudden surge of awareness, a feeling that you've been awakened from a deep slumber? You might be newly awakened light worker stepping freshly into your path of spiritual enlightenment, or you can be leveling up or stepping onto a new path. So I'm just going to explain each of these, and if you can relate, maybe you can know where this goes. If this relates to you. So newly awakened light workers tend to have a significant awakening experience spurred on by a life event. So that's what happened to me when I lost my husband. I've seen it happen to other people when they've lost other people in their life or have experienced a tower moment, so to speak. Once awakened, it's hard for you to go back to sleep, and you'll see things in a whole nother light. You'll feel as though things can never be the same, and consciousness has shifted. And you may be called to answer a specific call of service, which I was, and it's different for everybody. Newly awakened light workers seem to be able to jump right in and make big life changes in response to answering the newly awakened call with them. They can take form in altering career path, which I did. I went from, wasn't even doing anything to this. And it aligns to your soul purpose, or seeking out communities where you can connect with others on a similar path, which I also did. I was reaching out to groups and things like that. So if you find yourself doing that, old school or retro light workers come to a knowing that they've been doing the work for lifetimes, and as a result may find that have considerable fear around stepping forward due to soul memory of persecution. I also have this. This is why sometimes I don't speak out on things. Sometimes I don't say things. Sometimes I don't release readings because of the persecution. And I had to overcome that persecution and step out of my comfort zone to do this. And again, it doesn't matter if you like politics or whatever. It's still spiritual warfare. It's still crimes. It's still the truth. And it's not in my realm of what I'm comfortable with. And I've been told I was a lawyer at one point in a different life. So that could explain a lot. Likely, I've always had a knowing that they were here for a reason and that there was work to do, and feel the time is running out. It's common for this type of light worker to erect a spiritual closet from a young age, and as a result, revealing to the world who they really are is a scary process for them. Well, light workers alive right now, incarnated with a conscious mission to be of service, which is what I try to do, and have been doing that for lifetimes. There are countless souls awakening to the call of service, and that can be any service. Anyone who chooses to devote their lives to being bright light in the world is a light worker. There's no snobby spiritual test to pass or assignments to hand. The only requirement is the desire to connect to your own authentic light and the longing to serve the world. I call it working your light. And that gave me chills because that's basically what I've been trying to do the entire 12 years. And although it's been an up and down battle for me in many, many ways, I've been trying to stop. The dark has tried to stop me many, many times. I have been misunderstood. Sorry, it's emotional for me. I have been misunderstood. I have always tried to align with my path, and I've always tried to be Spirit's voice, even if it's uncomfortable for others on what I'm speaking about. And I just keep telling myself, people that don't get it, they will leave. But that doesn't mean that new people that do get it won't come in, because I'm always preaching vibe attracts your tribe, right? But just by me reading this, just by me explaining this to you, and I am using a little bit of a cheat sheet here, I'm working my light. Okay, when I answer questions for you guys, that's me working my light. When I'm giving readings, that's me working my light. Anything that I do for this channel, that's me working my light, even if that's a small voice in a big world. By choosing a higher thought when you find yourself in a bad mood, you're working your light, which has been really hard to do. Recently, I just keep saying, come on, skeletons, fall out of the closet so that people can see what I'm seeing, because I get very frustrated when people can't see the things that I see, but that's because I'm awakened and many are not. There are many that are asleep, but light workers are here to awaken others. And so if you can be along the same wavelength, then you know that you are awakened and you can see things for what they are. You're not in the dark, but many people are in the dark. And maybe that's the whole point of this, is to either awaken the people that are open-minded and want to awake, or people drop away and find other channels that don't want to be here. Because again, any crime is crime, but that's not just what this channel is about. This channel is, again, spreading light, spirituality awareness, speaking the truth on whatever that may be. It can be on a global scale. I try to use my platform for good things and make people aware. By encouraging someone instead of criticizing them, you are working your light. And no, in a way, I was not criticizing Trump, because I know a lot of people, some people were saying that. I was just trying to get people to see things and talk about things. And honestly, he criticized everybody else. So, I was just trying to wake people up. By sharing your unique gifts, you are working your light. By connecting to the unlimited supply of love in the universe, you are working your light. By being true to yourself, you are working your light, which is what I've tried to do. By being kind and compassionate, you are working your light, which I try to be with everybody that I can. Sometimes people are very, very mean and very, very rude to me, and I don't deserve the disrespect. And do I pop off sometimes? Yeah, because it's usually I feel attacked or I feel disrespected. And people, again, have to understand, I only go into things on this channel because I'm guided to do so. And again, if that thing going off 5 times during that whole thing, when it never goes off, wasn't validation for anybody that spirit was in control of this, I don't know what is. I don't know what other like evidence you need to try to explain to you that it was very spiritual guided, because they were like, well, if they're not going to listen to you this way, then try to use facts, which was where the idea came from, because so many people were misinformed, I felt, or they looked over things, or maybe they didn't take the time to go look at these videos. So I was trying to help people see the truth. If you're becoming more consciousness, you notice a change in perception. The more conscious we are, the more we see how everything is connected and how we fit into a larger scale or a larger whole. It's all about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and understanding your role in the grand scheme of things, which I do. That's where I talk about interconnects with cases and whatnot. And we're here to build a supportive community. Because if people are here, they're either open to spirituality, they are light work of themselves, they want to grow their gifts, or they just want truth and justice. And I hope that's why people are here. But that's why we try to make it like that. And again, it's not like I'm forcing anybody to watch all the content. Watch what you want to watch. Don't watch what you want to watch. Like, if you'd rather watch me talking about people being unalived and all of that, then do that. This was something that I don't normally do, and that should tell people a lot. When do I ever do something that I don't normally do? When something's about to happen, when something's about to shift and change. We can look at it in cases. Whenever a case is something's about to happen in a case, I'll come on, I'll do a reading, or I'll come on and I'll try to locate, or I'll come on and I'll talk about it. And then something shifts and changes. We saw it in Caleb, we saw it in Dylan, we saw it in Idaho 4, we saw it in a lot of different cases. So whenever I feel the call, the urge for something, it means something's about to shift and change, and we're about to see the light. But it's almost like spirit wants me to make you aware, to prepare you, to maybe even predict something. Because I don't know if you guys saw him at the border today, and this is not to go into politics, but he doesn't look well at all. Like, he just doesn't. And I don't ever want anything bad to happen to anybody, but he needs to be checked out by a doctor or something. I always get heart and blood flow with him. So I'm just saying, I think that he's not even well enough to do what he's doing, but still, that doesn't mean that spirit doesn't want to try to shine light on the darkness. And a lot of times when people come into light working, they let go. They let go of relationships. They let go of members on a channel. They let go of habits that no longer serve themselves. It's a cleansing process. Get rid of the old and bring in the new. So bring in people that need to be here and people that don't need to be here, that are not on the same level. See you later. Like I said, if you don't want to support here, even if you are a Trump lover, you don't need to voice that. You don't need to come on and fight about it. You now know my opinion on him. So that doesn't mean you can't be safe in the community and just watch whatever you want to watch that doesn't have to deal with this, and hope that one day, like, you can be consciously aware more and you can, kind of recheck things. And it's just like, this is how I look at it. If I would have changed his name to George and I put a happy face on all the picture or all the videos that I showed you guys and blocked out the names, and you have to think of it, would you want to be friends with somebody that committed everything that I showed you? Or would you be like, no, that person needs to be in jail, or no, I don't want anything to do with that because of the type of energy it carries? Now, you have to imagine that this person that does all these things is in a position of power where they could cause war on us. And that doesn't mean war ain't going to happen anyways. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, where their hissy fits incites riots. Like, we don't want that kind of hate and division and anger. That's the whole message from Spirit, is that he's dangerous in that way because he's so narcissistic that he can't lose. And when he loses, he does those things. So if he goes to jail, there might be a riot. And that's because people follow him blindly. And in the video, it talks about cult behavior. And I know I'll never break through that. You have to come to that on your own if that's not what you decide. And I know you're probably not even watching this if you're in that frame of mind, because you wouldn't be at a high enough vibration or a high enough consciousness to see and understand. So people like us and light workers, they are leading the way in global awakening. For some time now, we have been living in a largely unconscious state. In order for Mother Earth to survive, we need a global awakening. This awakening has already begun. And I believe, and I'm getting the mother trick and chills right now, that in the way that I'm reading this is, I believe you are one of the souls who chose to lead the planet this way. And I truly feel that. But there is hope, as awakening has already begun, and that you are one of the souls that can lead the way. It's a path of courage, stepping forward to be a beacon of light in the world that is slowly waking up to a higher state of collective consciousness. Again, can't talk. Being a part of a global awakening is a reward in and of itself, but it's also it's shitty, let me tell you. It's about serving a higher purpose, being connected to the mission that is much larger than yourself. It brings a sense of fulfillment, joy, and knowing that you're contributing to a movement that seeks to bring healing, love, and light to the world, and understanding and truth and injustice and light to injustices, no matter what they may be. The role of community in the awakening process. As you step forward to lead this time of awakening, remember that you are not alone. There is a community of light workers, a collective souls working towards the same goal. And many of them were in the comments that said they had the same message. So that was very validating. Connecting with others on the same path can provide support, understanding, and a sense of belonging. It's about building a network of light, a community that uplifts each other and works to bring positive changes to the world, which is what I really want. I don't want us to fight over this. I just want people to see it and be just like, okay, not argue with it or anything like that. I was just trying to bring awareness because I knew a reading wouldn't do it. Like, we have skeptics. If I tell them all this stuff about Trump, they're not going to believe it without seeing it with their own eyes. That was my point of that. I did a reading. I haven't released it. Maybe I will, because I'm at the point I don't give a fudge anymore. That's how I feel. They say that Aquarius loves humanity and hates humans. And I hate to say that, but recently I've really struggled, and I love humanity, but I've really struggled with being able to connect with some of the stuff that I've seen from people towards me. I'm finding it a struggle to find the compassion. Although I have compassion for everybody, it feels like a personal attack, and it's like people aren't trying to understand where I'm coming from. They just want their own opinions, and they're not listening to my message, to my voice, to Spirit's message, to Spirit's voice. Whenever people always say, oh, Rachelle's done it again, oh, Rachelle's done this or that, or and that's how you say my name, by the way, Rachelle. you know, she's predicted something, or she's got this case right, or whatever. That's not me. That's spirit. I'm their voice. I'm the channel. So I always say, that's not me, that's spirit. I didn't have anything to do with that. I'm just the channel. Do I have to perceive everything correctly? Yes, but that's still, they're the ones that giving the information. I'm not giving the information. So I don't really take credit for that. I just take credit for being spirit's voice. And it's funny to me that everybody wants to listen when it's something that they care, like something else they care about, or something they want to know about. Then they listen. Then, and it doesn't matter how many times I prove myself. The moment you don't talk about the moment you talk about something controversial, it's all out the window, even though people don't have to watch. Spirit wants you to come to a higher understanding of a lot of different things right now. There's a lot that's going on. It's a very pivotal moment right now. They're probably activating light workers all over to try to spread this kind of message. And again, it's not blue versus red. It's not right versus left. It's about what's right. It's about what's dangerous. And again, does that mean that Kamala, I finally learned how to say her name, will be perfect? We're all imperfect human beings. Does that mean there's not corruption in the government? No, I'm not saying that. But Spirit showed me. And I don't care if you want to believe it. It doesn't matter to me. I have people say bye and leave because I was given a psychic download that I did not control. I did not want. Because if I don't post readings, why would I post a psychic download about it? They showed me the divine feminine being very important at this time, bringing grace and compassion, and having someone that's tough to fight for justice and fight for humanity. And they kept showing me her as the justice sign. Justice, literal justice. And stepping into her queen power. And if people don't want to believe that, and they want to say, oh, she's got a sugar daddy, what about her? Who fucking cares? For one thing, I'd have a sugar daddy if I could have one. For another one, there's nothing against that. And you can't compare that to 26 sexual assaults plus more. Is that all people have? Has she done everything correctly in her journey? Probably not. We have to fall down a lot of times. I haven't done everything correctly. I worry all the time people are going to bring up stuff and judge me for things that I've already spoken about in my past and already brought up. Like, none of us are perfect. We're all imperfect human beings. But there's a difference when you're not perfect and you strive to be better and you strive to learn your lessons and you strive to grow. And when you stay in the exact same place. There's a difference in that. You know, she's probably growing and learning. And that doesn't mean she doesn't have like voices, people in her head telling her to do one thing or whatever that may be. You have to see the shifts in energy, though, the difference in vibrations. And could I be totally fooled and totally wrong? Yeah, but that's not what Spirit's showing me. I have to trust and believe what they say, or I wouldn't have these gifts. I wouldn't be having this channel. It takes a lot of trust in Spirit. And yes, do I ever doubt? Of course I do. Because when I'm doing crime, I have to trust completely what I get. There's no validation for it. And I could be totally wrong because it's very different. It's very hard to figure out between the mind and spirit. But when you have a push and an urge very strong that you can't ignore until you get your butt off and do it, there's a reason for it. Spirit has a reason for all things. Spirit has a reason to put me in this position right now to talk to you about this stuff. Spirit has a reason for this to be an issue with me right now when it never has been in my 40 years of life. I don't think I've ever watched the DNC. I don't think I've ever cared about politics. I didn't care who was president. Nothing. None of that. It's because it's important right now. It's what's going on right now. And it has the potential to cause catastrophic things to happen. But we're going to have catastrophic things anyways, unfortunately. There's a lot of stuff coming to the U.S. regardless of who's president. We need to make sure that we have a good leader that can stand by us and not lose it. That's the point. Regardless, things are going to happen as they're going to happen, but that doesn't mean that Spirit doesn't want the dark exposed, because they need the dark exposed. Just like I was telling you, if I was telling you something about like Putin or BK or anybody like that, they want the dark exposed. Yes, their soul pass and things like that, but it's still light dark battle. Still, dark takes over things sometimes. So you need to embrace your own authentic light, which is what I've done. And I get persecuted for it all the time on this channel. People that respected me and were part of my channel now don't respect me and are now not part of my channel, which is crazy to me. It's crazy. I'm still the same person. I still give the same information. There's a burden to being a light worker. So here's some other stuff that I found. Many light workers are being called to step into the world in ways that might feel huge and impossible, which this has for me. And a lot of times things do feel huge and impossible. The archangels have been reaching out and asking light workers to help bridge the gap between the physical and ethereal realms. In doing so, it lessens the perceived distance between the two realms and opens the doors for angels and divine beings to support humanity and the planet. And this is for me and this is for you. If you're a light worker and you hear the call of the divine asking you to step out into the risk and share your truth, please don't hesitate. The world needs to know about divine love. Please be brave, step into your light, step into your truth, and know that you are in good company. Together we can make an impact on the planet, which is all that I want people to do. I just want people to see things for as they are and to open your eyes. That's it. And this is how I felt recently. These are 18 plain signs. I'll go over them and I'll let you know which ones I felt recently. And you guys can see, because this video, I wanted to take the example and explain to you why I did it and what I tried to explain but no one's listening to, and then explain how being a light worker is a burden in that way and what I did, and then try to also put things that you guys could resonate, teach you about some stuff, and also expand on this a little bit. So have you ever wondered if you're a light worker? It's been prophesied in ancient texts that times when light returns to Earth slowly have begun preparing for the age of light since the period of enlightenment. Since the 60s, we become more ready, and ultimately we enter the age of light in 2012, which is freaking nuts because in 2012 was a year my husband passed away and was the year that I was awakened. So I didn't know that, but that's crazy. The year 2012 was highly misunderstood, and the true meaning was covered under layer of fear and control driven agendas. Nevertheless, a powerful shift has happened, and many light workers have heard the call and started waking up massively, which I did in 2012. Perhaps, and I'm reawakening now because of what's going on right now. Like, it's like another step, or like stepping out of my comfort zone. Like, it's like my duty to preach on this stuff. It's my duty to talk about this stuff now, whether people want to listen to it or not. I don't care if you just want true crime. Like, this channel is about so much more. Doesn't mean you have to be involved or watch it or anything like that, but still. Make sure my fish is okay. So a light worker is a person who's chosen to come to Earth, especially at these times. Oh, and by the way, I'm reading this for a reason, apparently. To help transmute darkness into light. Although this may sound overpowering, it's not. Each fear-based thought, feeling, or action you choose to transform into light serves not only you, but everyone. As you gradually learn to anchor more light in all of your bodies, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, the more you help others do the same. You're meant to shine as bright as you can and not ever let anyone stop your inner light and greatness. A light worker can choose different ways on how to shine their light. First, you have to use your inner light to heal yourself, and then when you're ready, you can help others, which is what I've done. And you can be called to many different things: yoga teacher, writer, singer, composer, light workers, accountants or managers. It doesn't matter. It's about spreading light, love, truth. There's no limits to your light. The world needs you wherever you are. Remember, and it's also being just a good person and having that inner light and letting it shine. Remember, a light worker is not just about you. You already have everything you need to complete your life mission. You're beginning ready for times for centuries. From my experience, if you're a light worker, you know what I'm talking about, and the following traits of a light worker will strongly resonate with you. You feel like you're wasting time, which is what I felt like for especially the past 2 years, but especially the last few months. I felt like this. One of the interesting traits of a light worker is that you have an unexplainable feeling that you waste your time. Very likely you can recall that feeling since you were little and often made you feel anxious or depressed. Not really, not that I can remember. I feel that way with this sometimes. Like, I don't know. that I think about quitting doing this all the time, honestly, because it's a hard burden to carry. Not that I don't like helping people and doing grief and stuff, but this part is hard. Like, the financial thing of it is hard as well. But deep inside, you know that you're ready to do something great. But when you were younger, you couldn't have figured out what it was. You were afraid to start it. The feeling of wasting time isn't pleasant. It can take you over to a point that you don't find satisfaction until you begin to act on that. But I also felt like I was wasting time prior to this. I didn't have anything I really wanted to do. I didn't have any passions or any purpose or anything like that. This exact reason is why you have it. It continually reminds you that you are here to do more. This feeling doesn't let you rest until on your laurels and go easy on the way through life. Something more is requested from you, and you're reminded of it until you begin to act on it. Thank you. I mean, that's part of what's happened recently. Unfortunately, some of the light workers haven't started to act on their inner call. People that are in alcohol and drugs or any other thing like that are light workers, but they haven't allowed themselves to follow the call. As a result, they begin to unconsciously numb the voices with addiction, which I always try to explain. Sometimes people that are very sensitive, that's why they do that, or they're depressed or whatever, because they're not in their purpose. If you feel your life purpose, even though you don't know what it is, the trait of the light worker is related to the previous sign. You always been called to act on your light. As a light worker, you know that there is something greater destiny for you, and you feel attracted to it. You've spent a lot of time figuring out why you're here and what your purpose is. Perhaps you've read many articles or books about these topics, and you've also played with the idea ever since you can remember, sometimes to the limits of obsession. The reason is this, again, is the same. The universe wants you to awaken so that you can start acting your life purpose consciously. There's a vast universe of difference when you act on your life mission by design or not. Because if you become a conscious creator with the universe, conscious co-creator with the universe, you can accomplish so much more. You tap into your unlimited capacity, and only limitation lies in your mind. How much you allow yourself to shine. You feel like an alien who just landed on planet Earth. Pretty much feel like that. Haven't met a light worker who wouldn't have told me they felt like they don't belong here. Often families haven't accepted them fully, and neither had they had many friends while growing up. The way our society works make light workers feel saddened or depressed, and again, that's why some people turn to addiction. The world saddens light workers because we're here to change the old structures and create a new world that is based on more freedom and love. Think about that and what's going on right now. For a light worker, it's difficult to fit in. Always been difficult. And I feel like I don't fit in a lot of the times. And this feeling prevails in your adult years too. Some of the light workers are wrongly judged as unsocial or weird when all they need is to understand their strength comes from their connection with their soul and heart. And for that, they need to spend a lot of time alone when in line to that, which I'm alone all the time. And download information. Okay? You want to save the world. Hello. That's what I've been talking about. And I know I'm just one little pebble but I can send out ripples, right? Spirit just showed me that. Every light worker feels like they've come here to save the world deep inside. They're sick of the ways the world works, and they hate seeing people suffer, and they want to change that. As a light, or you hate seeing what people get away with or injustices or anything like that. That's how I feel. As a light worker, you want to save your family, your friends, and ultimately the whole planet. What has been happening recently? Part of that feeling comes from the ego, but we all have ego, so there isn't no not having ego. I try to keep mine in check, but we all always have it. And the other part comes from the recognition of the fact that as numerous family of light workers, when we turn our lights on, we can indeed change the world for the better. You have a lot of dark stuff going on. The primary task of a light worker is to transmute dark into light. In order to do so, you've experienced a lot of darkness in your life. You've been through challenging situations, and sometimes you've hit bottom emotionally and spiritually, which I've hit bottom this morning, emotionally and spiritually. It was nice to wake up and see I had some woke people on my channel because I was beginning to wonder. Although light workers just as anyone else, dream about having a loving family and easy life. Most of them haven't had the luxury for a simple reason. They've been trained since their very first days to recognize all kinds of darkness and understand how to transmute it to light. It's not uncommon that some of the light workers also came here to resolve their family karma and thus liberate whole generations from unhealthy family patterns. Again, this is why I don't fit in with the rest of my family. Just my mom, my aunt, and my son. That's it. Again, this is not something that you should bother about. Just focus on healing yourself first, and that alone should be enough to help your family members too. I don't really have to worry about that because I don't talk to that side of my family. But if for those of you out there, maybe they're not ready to receive your light at the moment, you create the opportunity for them once they can receive your light. You're a powerful manifester, which most of the time I am. When you look back at your life, you may have noticed you've manifested what you wanted, at least to a certain degree, and often without the creating extra effort following the law of attraction, which I have. We talked about I manifested that Jeep out there, which I hope I can always afford. This is because you have high levels of energy that find its way to material manifestation fast. Yet there is little warning coming with that. You're more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Thus, you need to be extra cautious and responsible for the ways you direct your energy. Unconsciously, you can create distress to yourself and others if your energy isn't aligned, which by spreading truth, that's going to happen anyways. But in my intent, Spirit wanted me to do that because they're trying to wake people up. They want people to get aligned and raise their vibration and become awakened. And you can't do that if you support somebody like that. Period. So I don't understand. I don't understand why anybody would be a part of this channel to go for somebody that's total opposite of justice and what our freedom is and what our world needs. You're interested in ancient history and philosophy, in light workers here to restore ancient knowledge and add more wisdom you've gained over dark centuries of being surrounded by a lot of darkness. As a light worker, you feel naturally drawn to ancient texts. If you've been searching for some important answers that can change your life, you feel connected to ancient times, receive a lot of strength from it. Just keep in mind the moment this turns into obsession, you're drifting more into your life. Won't serve anybody. I don't really have to worry about that. Native American sometimes, but I don't really go back into that day. The word light worker itself is made in the language of light, so it helps you remember who you are. If you feel attracted to this word for every reason, then that's another sign you're a light worker. Some words are created in special ways to invoke deep remembrance within us. A deep calling to help others. Another trait is being a light worker is you've always felt the urge to help others, often feel strongly within you, and you can't help it. You've often desired to help others since you can remember. Even when you saw someone unhappy, having difficult times, you naturally want someone to uplift them, something to uplift them. Belief in a higher power. No matter how dark moments you've been, you've always felt connected to a higher power in your belief. It may not be God, the universe, or the light, whatever it may be, which I always have. As a light worker, you believe something is greater than you. Sometimes you feel the higher power move through you and your life, which it does all the time. And even when I speak to you, sometimes it's guided, it's channeled. Even though your prayers may not have been answered, you've always known that the universe was created for something greater than just living here one life and then dying. You've never ever questioned that there is something beyond our comprehension, and you feel to be a part of it. Challenging childhood. I didn't really have that challenging of a childhood. I don't remember much of my challenging childhoods or part of my childhood, so I can't say if it was challenging. I was raised by my grandparents, not really. My mom was around. There was different parts, but I mean, we all have things, right? You attract people with problems. That I do. Another common trait of light worker is you attract people with problems. When you have a closer look at your friends, the chances are they have many challenges and complain a lot. You also attract energy vampires, narcissists, and people who don't give you much in return. Tend to do that. I've noticed a lot recently. Sometimes it feels like you're caught up in a vicious circle because those people don't seem to find you wherever you go. A deep spiritual shift. Although you've always been interested in spirituality, at some point you experienced a deep spiritual shift. Possibly your spiritual awakening was very strong and your life has consequently fallen apart. Pretty much. That pretty much sums it up. Yep. If you're now going through this phase, which again, not the same way. It's very different, but you wonder why it feels so intense and why sometimes you feel like you can't handle it. Even though it may seem that you can withstand your limits, trust there's a greater power in realigning the energy of your life with your highest potential. So, see? Another essential trait of light worker is that they can move through the darkness, which I do. I move through unalivings and dark things and things that I see. I'm able to move through that energy. That's why Spirit gave me the logo that you see behind your screen and that you see with the woman walking through the dark and it with a light shining on her. That's why that was given to me by Spirit. I was shown that as a change in my logo. I would love to have it for back here one day, but that was a change in my logo. So that right there basically signifies everything that I'm about. Is I'm walking into the dark, but I've got light shining on me and rainbows. The darkness may show up in your life as depression, anxiety, self-doubts, unfavorable external circumstances. It's all of the above for me all the time. No matter how deep into the darkness you go, you essentially find your way back to the light, which I have many times, including this morning. That's why I'm talking about this now. There's things I need to get off my chest, things I need to say, because seeing that I'm, again, once misunderstood, I needed to make things clear and use that as an example to show why I did it. Because I don't know, again, I don't think people listen to me sometimes, so I'm probably making this for no reason, but I felt the need to, because Spirit was like, how about talking about the burden of light workers? But I have to use that as an example because that's what's happening right now. Sometimes it takes longer time for you, especially when you struggle with topics that are near and dear to your heart. World peace, world love, crime, criminal, injustices, things that are close to my heart. That's me struggling with it a little bit. Anyways, with the rest of the problems, you're able to weigh or find out of it. You feel guided to read certain spiritual books or reach out to help a healer or coach, which is kind of what I'm doing now. Emotional ups and downs, mood is constantly changing, which it totally is all the time. Like I said, I was crying mess this morning. I feel better now. I'm just tired. I'm emotionally drained. It took a toll on me. Because when I started seeing comments like, man, really nobody understands. Like they're not getting it. They're not getting that this is a warning and this is the way to prove it's a warning. Like they're not getting it. They sit there and they say, oh, quit talking about politics. You're going to lose people, blah, blah. Let me tell you, there's lots of other people that talk about this. This is a duty as a light worker. This is a big part of this is our world. This is our earth. We don't care about, no one else does. We have to spread light and love and try to show people what's happening right now. There's no better time. If I never talked about it before, hello, doesn't mean that this channel isn't about cases. Like I said, I'm getting back to cases probably tomorrow. I was going to do it tonight, but like I said, I'm exhausted. Probably tomorrow I'll do that. And I've got to get caught up on my jewelry and stuff. I'm constantly trying to do things. All my hours are all screwed up. But anyways, your mood is constantly changing. When you feel good, you feel very close to God. And when everything in your life seems to flow effortlessly, but all of a sudden your mood can change and you feel down. And when you feel bad, you cut yourself off from a universal flow of energy, and as a result, things in your life begin to stagnate. Your thoughts follow your emotions, and often you can get caught up in negative thinking patterns for days or even longer. I can do that sometimes. Yep, I've been for the last 2 weeks. But again, that was astrological as well. But yep, I've gotten stuck there. Strange dreams. Some people don't remember their dreams, but it isn't true for you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The next sign of a light worker is you have dreamed that others would consider strange. Perhaps you can manipulate your dreams, experience lucid dreaming, travel to the astral plane, across the universe through night. I used to do that a long time ago. I don't really do that much anymore. You may also see the future or past things from people's lives that they have never shared with you in dream state. You may go to spiritual school during the night, where you're initiated and trained on how to use your psychic abilities, which I find that hilarious because I've literally given readings and dreams. So that's what I think that's about. Who am I and why I'm here? There are 2 questions that always echoed in your head. Ever since you can remember, you've been contemplating the meaning of life and your purpose. As a light worker, you always felt that there is a greater mission for you and you've wished to remember it. You also once felt that you do remember who you are and your purpose and that everything falls into place. Oops. And then let me see. So, as I've said, I decided to answer the call of source and the call of spirit over fear of doing so. And I might end up releasing my readings because of that, because I'm at the point I don't care anymore. You're either here with me and you're here for the right reasons and you're here to follow truth and justice and you're here to see things for what they are and not be blind to it. And don't come at me with, oh, there's this conspiracy, there's that conspiracy, there's this and this and that. Like, okay, this is what Spirit wanted me to speak on. This is what I'm speaking on. This is what Spirit gave me. This is what I'm giving. You always listen to me about everything else. Doesn't mean you have to listen to me, but be open to what I'm saying. I mean, it just seems like it's only important with what people want me to talk about, and that's not what this is about. This is about a higher calling for me. This is about me speaking about what Spirit wants me to talk about. This is about, and it's because it's what happened. It's what's happening now. It's what's happening now. This is the person that's running for president. So this is what's happening now. We have to understand and see what we want. Put all the political stuff aside. Like, what do you want? Do you want a leader that's vengeful, that's mean, that's hatred, that's got all these, that's done nothing but fraud his whole life? I mean, I didn't even post everything. Like, a fraud university. He took 5 million, I think, from kids, and he took from his family. I think he kicked his nephew out of the will or something. I don't know. I didn't really watch it. I was just kind of told about it. I meant to watch it the other day, and I didn't. So this is somebody that's been a lifelong criminal. They're very low vibe. And if people can't give me a good reason for why they're following him, you need to recheck your moral compass. You need to maybe try to see what you really want the world to be. Do you want it to be a dictatorship, a controlling? Do you want it to be, and this is what they're telling me. This is what they're showing me. So this is not me talking politics. This is like they're just comparing. Like, kind of world do you want to live in? Take all the politics and everything out of it. Do you want to go towards someone that has been proven to invoke justice, or one that's been proven to invoke riots and hate? One that seems to throw fits and goes off the handle and pays people off. And I mean, this is somebody that would be in control of our military. That he wants to use the military instead of police. And this is somebody that he shouldn't even be a politician. He's a celebrity and a businessman. Like, if this was any other person, I just don't understand why anybody would choose hate and a criminal over someone that's trying to fight for justice, that have fought against traffickers, which I find that interesting, because in the download I kept getting something about traffickers, and I feel like there's going to be a bill or something with that on that side. But she's gonna try to do a lot more. But you have to remember, there's Congress and everything else. Like, I'm sorry, but this is what's going on in the world right now. This is what Spirit wants me to speak about. They want me to ask you, like, where is your moral compass? Like, what do we want? Do I want empathy, love, and unity? Or do we want division, hate, and violence? It's as simple as that. And if you look at the colors, look at the meaning of red and look at the meaning of blue. And that's not a red against blue. I'm just saying, I always believe in colors and the meaning of colors and what they represent. Spirit's bringing that to my attention. Like, if someone's upset, you put pink around them for love and compassion, and it should help them feel that. You put blue around somebody to cause for tranquility, and that doesn't mean that in the past Dems haven't screwed up and all that. Like we're not talking about the past. We're living in the now. We can't live in the past. We can't control past to now. We're living in the now. We're trying to evolve. We're trying to change. We're trying to shift. We're trying to grow. And you also have to see how a world leader is going to look at. And they showed me, like, Kamala, like, with world leaders and them respecting her. I don't think we have to worry about that. She's very diplomatic. The other one, unfortunately, he just mumbles on. Like, you don't even understand half of what he's coming out of his mouth. He's not talking policies. He just talks about the same stuff over and over. And unfortunately, like, he's the one that killed the border bill because he wanted to use it for his own gain and be the hero. But yet there was new things about, like, bringing the fent into the US. Like, I mean, I've done my research. I might not be perfect, whatever, but I also have what Spirit gives me, and I'm not just making it up. Like, everybody wants to talk conspiracy. Yes, government will be as they're going to be. I cannot change that. I can't. But look where the energy is flowing. Look at the high vibrational energy. This is, it's something that's never happened before, and that's, I think, part of the energy. But I think part of people don't want the destruction and the negativity, because all he does is talk negative and like mumbles about things that don't matter and points fingers. Like, it, you see, just take your blinders off and see things for what they are. I mean, compare them if you want to. I don't care. Again, somebody's like, I'm gonna unfollow you, keep talking politics, blah, blah, blah. This is a world issue right now. And it's light versus dark battle. Whether we want to see it or that way or not. These are just light and dark beings that are put into positions of power. It's spiritual warfare, always. And light workers will always speak up for spiritual warfare and always speak up about things that maybe not everybody agrees with. That's a part of being here. We're warriors. We're not going to be liked by everybody. It is what it is. But people that align with me are on my path and want to align with the light instead of somebody that's dark. I'm just going to say it. You want to align with the light or do you want to align with the dark? That's it. And again, is she going to be perfect? No. But right now, she's who Spirit's showing me is good for us, or the best decision for us. Although, again, I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. Like, I feel like something's going to happen. I just can't shake the fact that he's not well. He's got heart issues, blood flow issues. Like, I don't know if you saw him today, but I don't know if he's like having trouble speaking all of a sudden. And I don't know if they've got him like on some anxiety meds or some kind of new med that's like making him kind of be lower energy, or what it is. There's something going on health wise with him. And there's just a difference in energy. I don't know. I can't explain it. And again, things are going to be as they're going to be. Spirit just wants me to make you aware of what we should be following and focus on in life. We should be following the love, the light, the compassion, the unity, not the hate, the rioting, the evil, the wars, the threat of violence. Where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line on what we're willing to condone as a human race, as human species? Like, what are we willing to condone? And again, I know I'm just a small, tiny pebble in a big ocean. What I say probably doesn't mean a damn thing to a lot of different people. Ask me if I care. I don't care. I'm just giving the message I'm supposed to give. And I wish they'd make that go off again, because last night, I can't believe how many times it went off. But there is power in the people. I just heard there's power in voices. And we just need to see, when has the US kind of lost our way? And when have people kind of lost their way? We don't want to even give anybody energy that just preaches hate, hate, hate all the time. And I think that's where my hang up is. I think that's why I'm so outspoken about this, is because I see so many people following someone that's like such low dark energy, and I don't want them to be in that space. I don't want them to do that for the wrong like, what's your reasoning? You have to look at everything as a whole. Like, what's your real reasoning? Can you truly consciously feel that he's the right choice for our country? It doesn't matter anyways. I'm just saying, it's about learning about our moral compass, and it's 11:11 right now. It's about learning to, again, see things for what they are. And my hang up is that I don't want to see people like follow that kind of energy. I guess it is. It's not even a person. It's just the energy. Like, I don't want people to follow the energy. Like, again, for me, it's not like blue versus red. It's not, it's light versus dark. It's like, what kind of energy, what kind of vibration do you want to set yourself to? And if you want to attack me for posting truth, for one, you don't have to watch. For two, there's no reason to attack me and become disrespectful because I'm being a voice. And if you can't handle the fact that I'm being a voice and speaking on things that are going on in the world right now, then I don't know what to tell you, because my world events is something that's going on in the world. But everybody wants to hear that. What's the difference? They bring up political stuff. There's no difference. Other than this is just factual evidence, and that's a reading that people are going to wait to see if it happens or not. There's no difference. It's still spirit giving some kind of message. And their message here is one path is dangerous and one won't be perfect, but it's not as dangerous. And again, I think, next year is going to be tumultuous. It just is. There's still that dark that's going to continue to push on the light. Like I said, is she perfect? I can't say that. I don't know her personally. All I know is what Spirit's shown me, and that's what I have to believe and trust in. That's why I have the gifts I have. That's why I do what I do. That's why they channel through me all the accurate stuff that they channel that you guys like so much. I didn't get here by not trusting and not believing in what Spirit gives me. And it doesn't matter if you want to hear it or not. That's the thing. Like I said, if people got mad because I did the download, like I could help it. The point is, this is my channel. I'll talk about what I want. You don't have to watch. If you want to align with the dark, align with the dark. If you want to align with lower vibrational energy, align that way. I'm hoping that I get some woke people and we can continue to evolve spiritually and bring truth and justice to where they need to be. And this is going to be like I said yesterday, that's my last video about it. Unless Spirit brings me in with the reading and there's something really important I got to tell you guys, or they tell me to post my reading or something like that, I won't be posting any more stuff on it, so you can rest easy. Again, it's still true crime. Look up what true crime is. I'll probably put it in this video. But I don't have to. Just I posted on the community page. Just look at what true crime is. It's any crimes that you're talking about related to anybody. They can be alive or not. Any kind of crime. Like, it's sad that the voices only need to be heard when somebody is deceased, and that's when it's too long. Like, there's still people that are suffering here. And I think the biggest hang up on that is that people victim shamed. And if that doesn't bother you, maybe you don't need to be a part of this channel. If you're okay with people victim shaming sexual assault victims, which I truly believe because of his pattern, everybody has a psychological pattern. Everybody has a criminal pattern. That's what I was trying to explain last night in my video. So when we look in the criminal world and we look at all my cases, there's patterns, right? Look at Madeline Soto, like her stepdad. There was a pattern there that we can now recognize. BK, there was a pattern there we can now recognize. Ted Bundy, there's a pattern there we can now recognize. And we have to look at the psychopathy of it too. What is the pattern of Trump and his psychopathy? So when talking about any true crime, which this is, it's just on a political figure that shouldn't even be a political figure. So it's not even politics. But when we're talking about true crime, which is about any crime, any person, it doesn't matter, right? And we're talking about his psychopathy and the pattern of everything he's done, it leads to a very dangerous resolution. Now, there was a time that I saw him talking on a podcast about someone's addictions with alcohol. And I'm thinking the alcohol card I pulled for him in his reading was probably like his dad or something, because I guess his dad had a problem with alcohol that I didn't realize. It kind of maybe made him kind of who he was, if his dad was kind of an alcoholic and really, really tough. But I got off my frame of thought. So the psychology, right? We want to go with the psychology of who we want to be a leader. Do we want somebody that's a malignant narcissist that has the same exact personality type as Hitler running the country? Or do we want somebody that seems to be, a pretty cool person that's like aligned with justice? Does she do things to get people to like align more with her? Probably. That's part of being in politics. I mean, we've all, I think people ran for things when they were in high school, right? Like, I think we all change to be liked in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't mean that we're fake. She has a proven record. You can go watch her on YouTube. I always tell people, like, you want to get to know her, you don't know her, but you know all about Donald Trump, but you would like to know about her, then go on YouTube, watch some videos of her talk to Senate, watch some videos of her debate, watch, look at her record and see what she's done. Like, she went through the tunnels for trafficking. Like, that's the kind of soldier we need. Not just someone sitting there like saying, I'm going to fix this and fix that, and never does it. Like, and again, not to get in politics, I kind of went off on that real quick because it came to my mind, and Spirit's talking about like psychopathy of somebody. Like, whatever you're building a pattern or a profile, the psychopathy and the criminal history, like, that's what we need to look at. That's what they keep pushing. And that's why I called it a criminal pattern, because that's the title they wanted me to use, was a criminal pattern, because they're trying to say, like, You use it in all these other cases. Like I said, we'd use it in any case. That's what people that study crime do. Or study criminals, or if we look like at the psychologists, like that's they study behavior. Okay, the ones like Criminal Minds, they study behavior. It's the same thing. It doesn't make any difference who he is. We still have to study the psychopathy and the behavior of somebody, period. That was Spirit's whole point. But what they wanted me to do was like show the proof of it, because I could tell you that all I want, but without the proof, you're not gonna believe me. So that was that whole point. That was the whole reason why. It's trying to show a pattern of psychopathy and criminality and actions and reactions and all of that. So they wanted people to see like what a danger he could be, or that he is a danger. It's like a warning. It's like a warning sign. Okay, they're showing me a big warning sign. It's like a warning sign. That's basically what it is. It's like a warning. But they wanted to show you all of that to see the warning. And that's not talking about Biden and all that. I went into that for a minute before I looked into it. She said everything was misunderstood. As a social worker and working with kids and stuff, you would think she wouldn't support her dad if anything happened like that. I don't know. I can't say. That's not where Spirit wants me to go. He's not becoming president. Trump is. So, I don't know what to say. Like I said, I'm very spirit driven on my channel. That's why a lot of times I'll take people's cases, like I'll ask people to put cases like in the group, but I've never gotten to them, because I go where I'm led. I go where Spirit leads me. Or, if I'm working with Steven and he needs me to work on something, which we haven't been working very much together right now because of all the stuff that's been going on with him and me and everything. So I go where I'm led. That's why you don't see I could probably have a lot more subs if I kept doing readings on Idaho 4, if I kept doing readings on different things, if I kept going to places where people that are popular, that people want me to do, which I could totally do that. I just kind of go where I'm drawn, where Spirit leads me, and that's it. And if they lead me to talk about something, or they lead me to make a video, or whatever that may be, that's what I do. I'm here. That's what I do. Either you're a supporter of the light, the love, Spirit, and that's what you're here for, and maybe you're an light worker, and you would be aligned with that if you are, or you're not. And either way, if you want to follow the dark, then this is not the channel for you, because that's not what we're trying to do here. Like, yes, we talk about dark things, but that doesn't mean we don't surround it in light, wrap it in light, and give as much compassion and love energy as we can. Because again, this is a spiritual teaching channel, and this is a global event right now. And of course, light workers that are important to it, we have a voice, we have to use it, we have to have the courage to do so and overcome our fears. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And so again, it's crazy to me that you see other psychics talking about it, which of course they're probably political psychics, and they don't have any problems with their woke people. Like, there's another lady, Susan, that I totally align with her. She says Kamala's great, or Kamala's great and everything. And like, she answers from guides and stuff. So if you want to check out what she says, from what I'm understanding, that's what she does. And everybody's positive for her. Everybody's positive for her, that you don't see Trump anything, and she might delete it. I don't know, but she seems to have a lot of woke people there that can see what she's seeing and trust what she's saying. And I actually commented on her video, and I was like, I need some of your woke subs. Can you like send them this way? Anyways, it's your choice and your decision what you want to do in the long run. You're the one that has to live with your choice and your decision, and it doesn't matter to me either way. Things are going to happen as they're going to happen. I'm living in this life, and I just focus on myself while I try to spread the message and spread the truth, and spread what I feel is important, or what Spirit pushes me towards. As far as my life, it's not going to change it. Now, if they start being controlling things, then yeah, that's going to change it for me and my mom. But I haven't felt much of a difference myself in the last 8 years, honestly. I actually feel like I'm doing better now than I was 4 years ago. So I can't agree that anything under Trump was better for me. I can't agree with that. And the numbers kind of show that. But of course, I moved in a cheaper place. I was living in California before, and now I live in Arizona. So that might be something to do with it as well. I mean, we've got cheaper gas in here and stuff. And I don't have my son here anymore. So I don't have to. So there's our differences that I have to adjust for. But my life's always been difficult, so it doesn't make a difference for me. In many ways, it's always just been really tough for me. So, and that's part of it, I guess. And I hope that one day it's not anymore, because let me just say, and I know a lot of people struggle. A lot of people struggle, and I have compassion for that. We all have our own journey. We all have our own path. We all have our own roads to walk. And again, you're either with me on this channel to walk those roads, good, bad, or the ugly, or you're not. It doesn't matter to me either way. You can do whatever you want. I just want to build that type of community where we can support each other. And again, like I said, if you go for the other side, that's something that you have to handle and deal with. You don't have to post it everywhere and cause problems and strife, because you know where like I stand about it. You know, if you put Trump 2024, I'm gonna say for prison. Sorry. Like, you're putting it out there. And that doesn't mean you can't have opinions about it, but you don't have, but by posting that, you're gonna start like negativity and argument. That's what I mean. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll probably either delete it. I probably would most likely delete it, although I have said that before. But he's already, like, I'm not even going to go there. It's just crazy because when I did my reading on him, I kept getting riots. And I just know that they're trying to say, like, he would incite that if he lost or if he had to go to jail or something. Like, he's already putting that, like, don't let me go to jail thing because he's scared. So I just am waiting for the closets to come out so more people awaken. You know, I hope that light workers, I hope that we can unite, and I hope that we're all here on this channel for truth and justice, no matter which truth and what justice that is, and no matter which way we go, we're here for the right thing. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to be like a blue channel. I'm not like, it doesn't matter to me. I can never consciously support somebody like that, that's low vibration like that, and that has all those things that he's done. Like, I can't consciously support that. So if you're looking my support from him, I'm just going to be honest, I can't support that. If you want to support that in your life, that is fine. Go ahead and do that. That is fine. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, just you got to go within yourself and find out what's right for you and make sure it's for the right reasons. And you're not being like, because I know a lot of people are in tunnel vision, so you're not being tunnel visioned or living in the past or anything like that. That's all I want people to do. I don't want anybody to fight or bicker or argue or be negative. But I can't support a man like that. And so I'm just telling you now, like, you can, but you don't have to watch anything against, you don't have to watch anything that I say against him. You don't have to watch anything pertaining to him. Nothing, like, you don't have to come in and just like proclaim your love for him and proclaim your following for him. Like, you don't have to do that. I'm trying to stay now away from that energy, as far as like I said, this will probably be the last video unless spirit brings me into it for another reason, like a reading or something. And that's on them. If they do that, that's on them. And if people want to say, oh, you're doing politics, blah, 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 you know what? That's not my choices and decisions. If they all of a sudden are like, you need to do a world Autowrite because something's going to happen, I'll do it. They all of a sudden are like, okay, you need to do a political something's going to happen. Like, I've already made my prediction. I don't think it's going to happen. I just have this antsy feeling that something's going to shift and change, and I'm just like waiting for it, because I'm just like, where's this? There's some kind of going to be something like major. I always kind of see him like, and again, I'm not wishing anything about anybody, so don't say that. I just, is what I see. For a couple of days, I was seeing him kind of like holding his chest and stepping backwards. He could have some sort of medical emergency publicly or something. But I do feel like his heart and his blood flow isn't good, and his brain too, but it could be the blood flow to his brain as well. Like, it could be all interconnected. So there's that. And then they always show me like the skeletons walking out of the closet. So like more truths coming to light, things we didn't know about, things like that. I don't know if somebody releases a document or something. That came in his reading, and so I just want to put that out so that it's here and timestamped without putting out the whole reading. But they've been showing me that for a while, and I don't know if it's like to get him to drop out of the race because they're like screwed, and then there's going to be delays, or it's going to be wild. Like, there's going to be some crazy stuff. So anyways, I hope I got my message across this time. I'm really tired of repeating myself and explaining why I do things when I shouldn't have to explain it, because it's my channel and I'm here to follow spirit. And if anybody knows me, follows me, watches my stuff, you guys would know that. So, no one forces anybody to watch anything they want to watch. I don't need to hear, I missed this, I missed that. Great, you can. It's not my choice, not my decision. It doesn't mean I'm not going to get back to that. Don't watch this and watch that. Like, People complained when I had a sitter anyways, and there's no sitter available. I'm on my own for now. So, and I've noticed that I get better information on my own because sometimes I feel like I get let off a little bit with sitters that I've noticed. I get really good information, and sometimes recently it's like I get a little let off track. No fault of their own. Just like if their validations are wrong or something, I second guess, and it ends up that the spirit was right before. So, auto writing or cards or channeling myself is what I'm trying to do. And again, I'm gonna bring more of the crime and everything that you guys want. This was just something I had to do. This was spirit guided. This was something spirit blew up in my life. And you think I ever wanted to do it? No. This is way out of my comfort zone. I would never, ever, 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 ever choose to do this. It's very spirit guided in what I did. And the bear going off 5 times should tell you guys that. That should be validation freaking enough. So it's been a few hours since I first recorded what I just shared with you. And I've been contemplating if I want to release it or not. I think that it's good to explain things on a spiritual level and also explain light workers, because many people will may relate to that and realize that they are one. So there's a reason that spirit said, do something talking about your burden as a light worker. And I don't look at it as a negative burden, but it is hard sometimes. And the one thing that they keep showing me is the word change. So we want to be the change that we see in the world, but also we have to look forward to change. We have to look forward to growth. We can't live in the past and be just like all government officials are bad. Everything's bad. Like, we can't have that negative outlook. We have to have hope. We have to harbor hope. And this is from spirit. This is not from me, because they've been flashing the word change in my head since I did this. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But how do I do it? Just add it to the video. You already had it. Okay. So that's what they want. That's what they keep flashing is change. Like, it's okay to change. It's scary. Change is scary. Change is always scary. But change is also, it's fresh, it's new. We go where we need to go in part of this evolvement. And again, people get put in positions of power for a reason. That's what they choose to do when they come here. And again, I don't have anything bad or negative to say about her. I feel like she's very qualified for it. She's more qualified than the other one. For our highest good, I feel that, honestly. And I would never tell you guys that. It's not from a political perspective. This is from a spiritual energy perspective. And people might think they could feel bad energy from her. I don't. I haven't been shown anything about her that's bad. And if there is, I would tell you. But the thing is that spirit wants you to be aware of is to not look back on the past. Yes, we have to learn our lessons from the past, and we have to grow. But that's the whole point of growing and evolving, is change and growth. And we can't have harmony in some way. We're not going to always be harmonious. It's not going to be the perfect life. It's not going to be complete peace, because we're always going to have dark and light. Like, that's only attained on the other side, as I've stated before. But we still have to have the hope for it. We still have to put out that positive energy and positive thoughts toward where we want it to go, and be hopeful. Don't sit there and go, well, this happened, and I don't like the government, and they're all corrupt. Yeah, there are a lot of them that are corrupt, but there's also good too. There's always light and dark. That doesn't mean they just become someone's a politician that they're like everybody else. And that's the message that Spirit wants to remind you. Just because they're in the government or a politician, I feel like she was really put there for a reason. And it doesn't mean that there's not light beings that work in the government. There are. There's light beings that work in the police department. There's light beings that work in different places, but there's also dark. We've seen it. We've seen dark in the police department. We've seen dark in the government, but it's always light and dark. There has to be balance in that way. So that's the message Spirit wants to give you, is that change is okay. And we have to look forward to change. And they keep just flashing the word change in my head, because they want us to look for a brighter future, a better tomorrow, and go towards the light instead of go towards the hate and the negative feelings. If you look at both of them, or you can pretend they're not even, don't even put this political, put this as two people. Okay, you have one person that's always complaining, always talking bad about our country, always talking bad about things, always putting things down, always making it negative, always saying it's so bad, always having a dark outlook on everything, always putting people down. Okay, you take somebody like that, and then you take somebody that's wanting to make changes and is, being happy and joyful. It's night and day. Where do you want to put your energy towards? And us as a country, we have to have our energy towards somewhere as a leader, because if we're constantly pushing against any type of leadership in that way, and we have to have some kind of leadership, law and order, there has to be some kind of government, or everything will go crazy. I know people don't like the control, but I actually like the fact that they say mind your own damn business, because that's how I feel about it. Everybody should be free to live their own lives their own way. And that's freedom to me. And do I just think that they're just preaching that for no reason? No, I don't. I don't think it's like a gimmick or anything like that. And again, a lot of people don't like the Dems and a lot of people like the Republicans. It's not about that. I'm not talking about the political part of it. So quit trying to change it into that. I'm talking about the energy of it. I'm talking about the person as a person. We still have to have somebody that has compassion and morals and respect and commitment, and above all, be fit for the job. So my whole thing was that Spirit made me freaking come back on here and do this, is they keep throwing the word change at me. Like, it's okay. Don't compare the past. Don't put her in the same group with all the other politicians and all the other government officials. Does that mean she's going to be perfect? No. But we're so used to seeing that, and we've seen it in the past, that we think that it's always going to be like that. But it's not always going to be like that. Someone comes in and they change things, and they are better for us. Even if it's not completely better, it's progress, it's growth. We always want to have unity, and we want somebody that represents that for us. And Spirit saying, she prosecuted criminals. Like, there's nobody better in a way. We've never had, I think, a lawyer that's been a president, so we can't compare all the other presidents. I don't know if we ever have before. I'm not great at history, because this isn't political for me. I've never cared before. And again, this is not my message. This is Spirit's message. And I told you I wouldn't go into it unless Spirit gave me that message, but they keep flashing change at me. Like, quit comparing the past to the present. Quit comparing one person to all the other. Would you like to be compared to everybody else and say that you're the same as everybody else because you're part of a group? Like, say, let's compare all the doctors and make one doctor's bad, so they must all be bad. One dentist is bad, they must all be bad. You have one bad president, you must always bad president. You always have scandals. That you usually have scandals, you must always have scandals. It doesn't always have to be like that. Like, everybody's different. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own ways of doing things. You cannot compare one person and one soul path to the people that came before her. You can't do that. It's not fair to her. You have to give it a chance. We've seen what the other side can do. We've seen hate, we've seen violence, we've seen negativity. I don't want to live in a world like that. I don't know if you do. And so that's the biggest message from Spirit. It's okay to have change and to not compare her to everybody else, because all I know is they show me positive things with her. And you can believe it or not, I don't really care. I understand that there's corruption. I understand that there's all of these conspiracies. I get that. There's always going to be light and dark. Not everything's going to be perfect. But I think she really has the integrity to try to make a change. I got very positive cards on her, and Spirit gives me very positive. I always get her ancestors that talk about her. So whether you believe that or not, I really don't give a crap. That's what Spirit gives me, and this is the message. If I were to give you the same message on a case, you guys would listen to it. Most of you, the ones that believe in me, the ones that are here for the right reasons. Trust me when I tell you this is not my opinion. Okay? So I just needed to add that in there because they won't leave me alone. So again, any messages that I have for you, I will share them. Hopefully the next thing will be a case, because I want to move on from this myself. But if they pull me back into world events, or they pull me back in to share a message like this, or they pull me back in because something's about to happen, because there is something that's going to happen with Donald really soon. I can't shake it. Again, I mentioned it earlier about his health and stuff. He might be the flag in the, I don't know. I don't want to say that. I don't know. I don't want to predict anything like that. But again, I said this in I think I said it in the channeling. I know I said it in the reading. His heart, his blood, and his brain. I don't know what's going on there, but definitely his heart is bad. He's got a blood flow issue. And this is why he's cognitively, there's something going on too in his brain. So I don't know if why they keep showing me blips, like blood flow, like blood clots or something, but also he's got heart issues because I keep always seeing him stumble back. So again, this is not me like hoping anything for him. This is what I keep being shown. And they keep showing me skeletons walking out of the closet. So these are two things that they continuously show me and make me feel, and now my head hurts. And I hope that he goes and gets checked by a doctor, because again, I would never wish ill on anybody, even that dark and negative. I wouldn't wish that. There always has to be a catalyst in the story. Okay. So, I don't think there's something about next month, but anyways, so that's for real. I gotta say now, I love you guys. So that's all I've got to say. I want to thank everybody for the people that do support me, for the people that are non-judgmental, for the people that, you know, can be here even if you are a Trump supporter and understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully open your eyes to something else. And for the people that, you know, have always supported me, I love you. Don't think that changes at all. These are just my opinions, my thoughts, spirit, some of it spirit guided, and some information on light workers. So hopefully you found that helpful. I didn't mean to ramble this long. I think I had a lot I had to get off my chest, because my brain, I will just ramble around in there until I say something. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Oh, and again, the only reason I talked about any of this is examples. I'm trying to explain what's been going on and hope that people can understand. And people don't understand the burden that's been on my shoulders, how much I've cried, how much I went to the depths of hell in the last couple days. Like, I haven't cried that hard in a very long time. I think since the passing of a pet. So for me to break down like that, because I feel like, well, did I just mess up? Did I just screw up? I'm screwed. Like, what have I done? Like, I just blew everything up. Like, was that spirit guided? Was it just me? I have to be confident in the decision that spirit had me do it, and I did it for a reason, you know? So that's what I have to handle. And if people, you don't have to watch it. Like, no one's forcing you. It's just if you want to. Okay? Like anything else I post. All right. Thanks, guys.